Let's go through this again. Ball out to right center. Give me your thoughts here with Freeman. Look at that. Oh, my God, that was smooth.
Well, when the ball was hit, Chris, earlier in the week we were out there. I was watching batting practice just so I can gauge some of the pitches, and there wasn't one ball even close to that area out in center field. So when Freddie Freeman came up, Kyle Kenrick was having trouble in the first inning of games last year. When Freddie Freeman came up and he hit it, it sounded like he hit it pretty good, but I did not think it was going to come out toward where we were 435 feet away from home plate at that time.
Look at this again, and you kept the play-by-play going, right, Tom?
Well, because at the beginning, it was just a call. It was just, I could hear the crack of the bat. You can hear that it was hit pretty well, so you just try to call it. I didn't have the glove on at the time, so I had to put the glove on, and then I thought, you know what? I can't miss this. Should I go after it? Should I just let it go? I went after it, and thankfully, it was able to just find my glove.
So you did not have the glove on when he swung the bat. You put the glove on.
No, it was on the table. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. You put the glove on when the ball is in flight. Good for you. Okay, the Phillies. That was the highlight of the last year watching that. Let's hope they have a little more highlight scenario here in 2015. Hamels and Lee, let's talk about those two pitchers. Are they both going to be there by opening day?
Well, I think by opening day, there's a pretty good chance they are going to be there, Chris. I think that for Lee, he's most likely going to be there because nobody knows how healthy he is at this point. He's got to get through spring training, show that the elbow is fully healed. Then he could move if the deal is right and if there's a team that he likes that's part of the deal. Hamels, I think that Ruben Amaro needs to be blown away, and he's acknowledged this if he's going to let Cole Hamels go to another team. Cole is still young. He's still wonderfully sound as a pitcher. The contract is, from a baseball terms, from a pitching standpoint, a pretty good contract for the Phillies. And if they're going to rebuild and be contenders in 2017, he'll still be young enough to be at the top of the rotation at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's any rush to have to trade Hamels. I'm with you on that. How about the Ryan Sandberg thing? We read about the issues in that clubhouse last year. I'm assuming it was a lot of it with Jimmy Rollins. Does Sandberg need to repair his relationship with certain players? How about Sandberg and the clubhouse chemistry here in 2015? Tommy, what can you tell me?
Yeah, I think it's just it's a natural growing process. Rhino, when he was in the minor leagues, was lauded as being a player's manager. Players loved being part of his clubhouse. And I think that, now that this is his second full year, he's acknowledged that there are things he wants to improve on, just like all of us. You want to improve from year to year. And I think that he feels like his communication needs to be better with the players. This is going to be a younger team. A lot of these guys have played for him or have been around him for a few years because of his time in the Phillies farm system for a couple seasons as a manager. So I just think he'll get better. I think he'll get better with the communication part of it. I mean, he's got Larry Bowa as his bench coach, so that there's thoughts that are going to go back and forth between the two about moves. I just think he feels like he just needs to get better and progress as a big league manager.
Papelbon, next for him. I'd trade him. I know he's got a big contract for next year with that vesting option of $13.5 million if he finishes 48 games. The Brewers seem like maybe the best landing spot. Papelbon drives me crazy anyway. Will Papelbon be there opening day? What can you tell me about that, Tommy?
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance he's there opening day, Chris. But I think as we get closer to the trade deadline, I think that's where he could become more enticing because there's probably going to be a team, whether it be a team like the Padres or others that are contending that don't have a closer that they can rely on. That's when he could become more available for teams because financially, he's got a good individual contract. It's a good contract for him, and he's got the ability to say yes or no to any kind of a deal. The Phillies have Kenny Giles. They have Jake Diekman. They have guys waiting in the wing.
Got a good bullpen.
Got a very good bullpen. Now, they do want these guys to season a little bit more, but by the time the All-Star break comes, they'll be seasoned a little bit more. So there might be more suitors out there. It all depends on the contract, I think, more than anything else, and whether Jonathan will agree or not to go to a specific team.
Yeah, it's important. Pressure on Amaro. He's got Gillick back there looking over his shoulders. I know Dave Montgomery the other day basically said, you know what, this is a big year for him and the franchise. He's got two big guys he might have to trade. He has to get some proper stuff back. Pressure from Ruben Amaro here. What can you tell me about that?
I think there's pressure on Ruben. I think he has said that there's pressure on him just to, if they are going to continue to rebuild, that he does get pieces back. From all reports, and I haven't seen any of these kids play, but the two prospects they got in the Rollins deal and the prospect they received from the Reds in the Marlon Byrd deal, and even the prospect that they received from the Pirates in the Antonio Bastardo deal, are pretty good pitchers. Now, they've got to progress through the farm system. But I think Ruben acknowledged even the other day that this is a big year not only for him, but also for the organization. And that seems to be what he's focused on, is trying to make sure that if these deals are made, that he's able to build the farm system back up and build this team to contend in the next couple of years.
Will the Philly fan base be patient? Now, listen, I know you probably needed another championship. You got the one. Would have been nice to get a second one with that great 5 or 6 year era. Yeah. You got the one. Okay, fair enough. Are they going to be patient and understand what the whole deal is here? And, I don't expect them to flock to the ballpark with that record streak they had with all the sellouts. But are they going to be patient and not go crazy if they have to watch a 75-win ball club again here in 2015?
Well, I think that everybody understands that this is going to be a rebuilding year. Now, anything can happen in baseball. You and I both know that. But I think that their understanding of that, patience, I think as a fan base, it doesn't matter where you are. You have patience at the beginning, but then that dwindles when the wins don't come. So I think time will tell. I don't think this is going to be a 2-year or 3-year hiatus from the postseason. I think that this ownership group and the front office are designed to try to get back to the postseason as soon as possible. They loved, obviously, the energy of the ballpark. It's a great place. The energy of the ballpark when they were selling out and they were winning. That's like a narcotic. It was invigorating to go to the ballpark each and every day. So I think their understanding of what's happening, but I don't know if any fan base is patient, Chris, when it comes to this, when they've had a taste of being in the postseason.
Especially in the Northeast with that city.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. Finally, how about Ryan Howard? Listen, he's got a lot to prove. Everybody written him off. Big contract, hasn't lived up to it, blah, blah, blah. We've heard it forever. I don't know anything about Ryan Howard. He would not know me, him, no matter what. So I'm going by what you know him from a personality standpoint. You expect Ryan Howard to lose something to prove in 2015?
I think he definitely has something to prove in 2015. I think the fact that he's had a year of an offseason where he's been healthy. There were some personal issues that he was dealing with last year that none of us knew about until the season was over, when it came to light. I think he's a very prideful guy. He's a wonderful person, and I think that he has in his mind something to prove. Whether the Achilles is ever going to be the same, whether the leg is ever going to be the same, time will tell. But he did have more guys in scoring position, more opportunities with guys on base last year than anybody else in baseball. Can he convert that into 25 or 30 more RBIs or 10 or 15 more home runs? That remains to be seen. They need him, though, if he's going to be here, to be able to be a foundation in the middle of that lineup the way the offense is structured right now.
Indeed. Tom, keep on bringing your glove to the ballpark. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. We appreciate it today.
See you, bud.
Take care.